Okay guys, but now I want to talk about quadratic functions because previous videos are just explaining you how can you factorize and how can you find the roots, because without this you can't draw a graph, and you can't use something from the graph, because you should know how can I find roots, and you should know, for example, how can you check roots on the graph. That's why factorizing, finding roots is so important for us. So now quadratic functions. Guys, in quadratic functions, you should know that first I want to tell you what's the difference between functions and equations. Guys, equation means there are, for example, if it's quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. There are only one variable, which one is x. But for the function, we have y, which one is output and input. Okay? So if we give some input for the function, we will get what? Output. That's why it's a function, if we can find the value of output. Okay? So the form is y is equal ax squared plus bx plus c. Y or fx, there is no difference, guys. You can see also fx is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. This means y and fx, both of them means is what? Functions. Okay? Not only for the quadratic. Generally, y and fx means output. Okay? Output or function output. Let me to write like that, output. Guys, here, for example, you can see the, how can I say, the type of questions, which one is, for example, the first one, use graph and find the equation, or you have an equation and you wanted to draw a function. First, I want to explain, if you have a function and you wanted to draw a graph, how can you do that? Let me take y is equal to x squared minus what 5x, where the previous one, because the easiest one, that's why I just take the same question, same function, x squared minus 5x plus 6. So how can I draw a function of this, a graph of this function? Guys, firstly, you should know that in our ax squared plus bx plus c, always c is our y-intercept. Let me to write here. C is y-intercept. But a and b is coefficient. A and b, you know that this sign is and in math. A and b, what are coefficient? Coefficient of x. Okay, a is coefficient of x squared, b is coefficient of of x. So guys, we know that our y-intercept is 6. So let me write here, y-intercept is 6. The graph intersect with y-axis at point 6. And let me to tell you guys one important thing. If you wanted to find the graph, for example, at which point the graph intersect with y-axis and intersect with x-axis, the graph, let me to write with words, graph intersect or passing through, intersect with y-axis. Guys, after watching, take a note, because it's so briefly and so important information. Okay, with y-axis, the graph intersects with y-axis at, it's not a straight line, sorry, at point, no, not at, I'm sorry, I did wrong here, when x is equal to 0. Okay, so the graph intersect with y-axis when x is equal to 0, but intersect with x-axis, x-axis when y is equal to 0. Okay, y is equal to 0. It's so important, guys, rule. But it is not only for the quadratic equation. For the all function, quadratic, not only for the quadratic function, for all type of function, always if you wanted to find the intersecting point with y-axis, at that point x gonna be 0. But if the graph intersects with x-axis, this means at that point y is equal to 0. That's why here y-intercept is 6, because if x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 6. Did you see? That's why 6 is y-intercept. Okay, but for drawing a graph, actually, if they give you any interval for the x, you should take only that points from that interval. But if they didn't give you any interval, and they ask draw a graph, you should find the roots, because you have y-intercept, and then you need to know when the graph intersects with x-axis. So let me to write. I should find the roots. 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. I should write as a equation. Then I prefer using factorizing method. Then 3 and 2, but both of them is negative. Then look at here. Let me to check it. Negative 3x plus negative 2x gonna be negative 5x is true. Then x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 2 is equal to 0. Which one is x? Is x1 is 3, x2 is 2. So good. So that's it, guys. I have x-intercept, which one is 3 and 2, and y-intercept, which one is 6. And on the graph, let me to draw a coordinate plane. And guys, it's not squared paper, that's why I approximately take the points. So x is 1, 2 here, and 3 is there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 gonna be there. Then your function, the graph gonna be, you know that the graph of quadratic function is parabol. Okay, let me to take how can I say here, graph of quadratic function gonna be parabol. Okay, parabol. And parabol is this one, guys. And you know that if find coefficient of x squared is positive, here for example it's 1. 1 is positive, that's why it is upward. If it's negative, then the graph gonna be downward. Okay, so it's just one example for the, if you have a function and you wanted to draw a graph, you can use this method. Okay, that's it. Then I will explain another type of question in my another video. Okay, so keep watching.